Hello. Or I should say praise God. Praise God. Assalamu alaikum. I don't know how you greet. Hare Krishna. Nice one. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So yes, of course, we thank God for this opportunity. And I want to thank the department too for the opportunity, giving me to meet my colleagues studying religions in one way or the other. How many of us are in level 100? Level 100. Okay. 200. Nice one. 300. Oh, I see. 400. Wow, I'm impressed that at least there are people in level 300 still studying religion. We thank you so much for your, sympathy with us, because mostly people want to drop the religion when they progress. Some do it because it is easier and it will help boost your, how do you call it? GPA. So after school, then I've got nothing to do with religion again. They want to use and dump religion. I've seen you. Yes, and sometimes, even in the corporate world, it is like that. SHS, you choose CRS as part of your electives, and yet you are asking what you are going to do with CRS. Meanwhile, you are a Christian, you have a course that will help you study the Bible, and yet you are asking what you are going to do with Bible knowledge. That tells you the level of disrespect we have for God in our hearts. We don't want to be associated with the Word of God, but we want to benefit from God. It's a pity. Mine was worse when I was in school, because for me, I even changed my course. I wanted to study law. And when the admission came, I saw religion, sociology, and then philosophy and classics. And my uncle was annoyed. He said, how can we get a grade 10? A1 in economics, A1 in elective maths, A1 in geography, and they are giving you religions. What are you going to do with religions? So he went to registry and changed the course for me. And they gave me geography, economics, and Arabic. I like your response to the Arabic. So I was in a hurry to drop Arabic. So I did all my best and passed the Arabic, and then I dropped it. But then I also lost interest in economics. So what do I do now?
You lost interest.
Yes, it was a serious issue. So I went to guidance and counseling. I went to tell them that I have lost interest in economics. So what do I do? And I was asking myself, I wanted to read law. Now I am no longer offering law. So what do I do? And I felt a very deep conviction in my heart to teach. So the question, what should I be teaching at the secondary school level? Then CRS came to mind. Even though I wasn't a CRS student, I mentioned my electives already: economics, geography, and elective maths, and I passed all of them. But now I want to teach CRS. So what should I study? Religions. So the religion that I dropped, in fact, I refused to offer it in level 100. I had to go back to religions department because I felt a very deep impression in my heart to teach CRS. Because all my life, I've been teaching Bible, consciously or unconsciously, because at church, evangelism committee chair, as vice president of the youth. Even here, I was Bible study leader for navigators. That's a Bible study and discipleship group. UCF, I was their Bible study leader for Legon. And the following year, I was vice central cell coordinator, teaching Bible. And yet, I had not even think about it that I can be teaching Bible as my profession. So I had a deep impression in my spirit to teach. So I changed my course. Now I had to do level 100 courses, even though I am in level 200. They call it makeup course. I had never heard it before. Makeup course, because I thought makeup here. I told you what to do with the face. So you're in level 200 and you're doing level 100 courses. Then my friends will ask me, are you resitting? And I'll say no. I am doing a makeup course. They said, what is that? it happens to you when you are so proud, you don't want to do religion, you will be doing makeup course when God touches your heart to go back. So I am touching on job opportunities available after school. I don't know how many of us have even taken time to Google to look for job opportunities available or associated with studying religion. I don't know how many of us have done that. But you have to, if you want to use religions to work. My friend was here and he was telling me that now certificate is not really important when it comes to the world of work. All they want to see is that you are educated, you are a degree holder, your level of reasoning is far above a secondary school level. So once you are educated, that's it, and you are able to reason, you are able to communicate, you are able to relate with people, that's it. So some of the jobs, you have to take a short professional course, like myself. I wanted to teach, but I wasn't in UCC or Winneba. So what do? So I went to see some of my lecturers, Dr. Gatsby. And then she told me that I have to do postgraduate diploma in education. So right after my degree, I wanted to do it whilst I was having my national service. But my certificate wasn't yet ready. You know, your certificate will be ready in the course of your national service. So I couldn't do it during my national service. So right after national service, I had to enroll with Winneba, distance education. My campus was Accra Academy. So I did my postgraduate diploma in education. Interestingly, I didn't start teaching SHS right after school. I had to teach in a private school because, there was no opportunity yet. So I had to teach in a private school. And this was a school that I taught in when I completed SHS. Due to my diligence, it was easy for me to call the proprietress. And I told her that, Madam, I have finished school. I want something to do for the meantime. Can I come and teach in your school? And she said, Kwame, you are not a graduate. I can't pay you. Oh, there's a mommy. Oh, I hear. Something small for the boys. So we had to agree that she would provide accommodation for me so that I would stay on campus. I wouldn't have to pay for accommodation and then teach. And I taught in that school for 1 year before I applied to GES to teach. And interestingly, because there are not many people who study religions and theology, it was easier for me to get, even when my postgraduate diploma in education was not yet ready. Because only a few people even major in religions. I majored in religions because I was sure what I wanted to teach, CRS. So I majored in it. So they picked me over a colleague who combined religion with political science. He had first class, I had second class, but I was picked because I majored in religion and I was befitting the position. It all boils down on you. What do you want to do? As my colleague was saying, after your degree, that's it. If you want to go into business, it's not a short course that you have to undertake. You have to maybe charter or do a 6 months or a 1 year course to attach to your degree. That's it. You can go into business. The same applies to law. If you want to go into law, you don't have to do a whole 4 years degree in law when you have your undergrad certificates already. You have to do just 2 years, and then you can do your law. After I go to Makola, you already are mafiaing people in the law school. You can face it and then pursue your law. Now, my presentation is going to be in 3 sections. A is jobs available, and then B is how to prepare for the jobs, yes, and get them. I give an example here. LinkedIn. How many of us are on LinkedIn? Yes. It's a very good platform to build your profile so that people looking for people to work for them, you can just check your profile and see all that you are about and then employ you. Then C is going to do with progressing on the job or exploring opportunities on the job. I'll use myself as an example. Now, let me quickly mention the list of jobs available. Administrative coordinator or an administrator. Business, yes, I told you, just do a short course on business when you finish, and then you are there. We have charity officer or coordinator. That's for NGOs, especially for orphanages and other foundations, charity officer, people to head such NGOs. We call them charity officer, and then you are paid very well. We also have receptionists. Like I said, when you study religions, you are able to relate with people easily. You don't look down on people. Imagine a receptionist, and then you see people coming to the organization, excuse me to say, dressed in this manner. You are tempted to charge them if you don't have religious studies background, and you may be fired because they will tell your boss that we don't like the way your receptionist was looking at us, and you'll be fired. So yes, we need people who don't just judge people easily, and religious students are such people that they are looking for when it comes to such positions. So receptionist is there. We have child and youth worker. Yes, any serious church would like to employ people who would like to take care of the youth, specifically when it comes to discipleship. A lot of youth are not committed to church activities because leadership have also dedicated people, resource people who can understand the youth and attend to their needs. So the youth, when they go to church, before they even say the Lord's Prayer or final prayers, in their mind they are already at home because there is nobody to really understand their needs. So they want to go home the moment they even step in the church. So any religion who wants to really catch the attention of the youth, they need to employ a youth worker or a youth leader, and the person should be paid. We have community center director or community developer. Those of us in the villages or in the hinterlands, we have community centers. It's a big time business. Can be employed to manage the place, because if you are coming to make an announcement, you pay. Pastors and missionaries come to the town, they are coming to do evangelism, they want to use it to preach, and they pay. So if they really want to manage the center very well, they need to employ people like us, because we have a very good background with these ones. We have diplomat, foreign service worker, historian, reminds me of church history, international aid worker. We have lawyer, or legal aid, or human rights or religious rights advocates. We have victims advocate or activists. We have lobbyists or mediator, because you are able to communicate with people easily, regardless of their religious backgrounds. You are able to lobby for organizations in terms of contracts or even seeking sponsorship. You are able to convince people because you can easily relate with people regardless of their religious backgrounds, and it's a big time business that you can do, and that is lobbyist or mediator for sponsorship for NGOs and also contracts for other institutions. We have media correspondent or journalists. Yes, media correspondent or journalist. And then we have, where am I? Museum creator or tour guide. Yes, it has got to do with people, interacting with people. They just renovated Kwame Nkrumah Museum or whatever it is. Yes, it is our job to be in charge of such places. Yes, we have political consultant. Because you study religions, you understand people, so you'll be able to convince political leaders on policies that the people will buy into it. Right now in Ghana, if you are a political consultant and you are able to convince any of the big parties that the people are crying that you should do away with ex-gratia, any political party that is able to do away with ex-gratia will win the heart of the Ghanaians. Because we don't understand why we are borrowing from IMF and yet we give such huge sums of money to individuals at the end of every 4 years. So imagine a politician who has been in parliament for over 20 years and collecting ex-gratia at the end of every 4 years. You can imagine such an amount of money that the person will be having. That will be half of what you are taking from IMF, in addition to your salary and your allowances. So right now we are tired of the political parties, but you see, because you don't pay attention to such things, and because of selfishness, once we are associated with one or two political parties, yes, when they are in power, they will push me somewhere. So you don't think about the bigger population. It's very bad. Now, we have public policy advisor, yes. We have social worker. We have security officer. You can easily go into police, soldier, immigration officer after your degree. Yes. Then you have entrepreneur. If you have the skill to go into any business, that one is for you. Even those who want to go into full-time ministry as a pastor or as a missionary or whatever it is, you can easily venture into it. Then we have public relations officer. That's PRO. Once again, it has got to do with dealing with people. So you can easily function in that office as well. So for the public relations officer, you can do it for organizations like maybe Cowbell or any organization. You can also do it for political parties. You can do it for heads of state or other prominent individuals or heads of institutions. You can act as their PROs. We have minister or missionary or clergy person, and that's the main thing that people know. So when you say you are doing religion, then you ask, why do you want to be a pastor? Do you get that a lot?
Yes.
Yes. It's not their fault.
Yes.
It's because the only thing they can think of is pastoral ministry. And unfortunately, a lot of families don't want their children to go into pastoral ministry. So I believe there are some of you here, you have the conviction to go into pastoral ministry, but because your mom or your dad will stand against it, you don't want to even mention it. Yet when they have a need, they want to call the pastor and say, Pastor, pray for me. They want to call the prophet and say, Prophet, pray for me. Meanwhile, they don't want their family members to go into the ministry. Don't worry, the false prophets will keep duping us. Because those of us who have sound mind, that we can do, we don't want to go into it. Because we don't want to associate with it. May God have mercy.
Amen.
Then 23, we have chaplain. And then counselor. Yes, as an Ketasco doesn't have counselor. They are breaking to reach now several times. A big school like Ketasco, I teach in Ketasco. We don't have a counselor. We lack one CRS teacher. The other one was transferred last year January. Until now, we don't have a CRS teacher. Why? Because a lot of people don't want to study religion or theology. Then we have researcher. Yes, especially if you want to go into academia. Our lecturers, they do a lot of research. I, for one, I went for missions in April, and I realized a very interesting research topic. I realized that people don't give up on their religions easily because they want to be faithful to their forefathers. So they have been serving in that religion for a long time. You can't just come and convince them that they should join your religion. And I thought that it was an interesting topic for me. So I'll develop it and then come and have my master's at the department. But for me, I want to work on my project work or thesis before I even come and enroll for master's program. Because I know how thesis mafiaed me when I was doing my postgraduate diploma in education. When I was in school like you, I dodged project work because I thought it's difficult. You go up and down. In fact, one lecturer advised me to dodge project work, and I dodged it. I never knew I was going to meet it in my professional course. I struggled a lot. From 2017 to 2018, I finished with the coursework, and I finished with my exams, and I passed. No receipt to write, but project work, the way I struggled. I wanted to pay people to do for me. I will pay them, but they will do shoddy work. And my supervisor will bounce my work. Finally, I have to contact a colleague, Harriet. She is studying for a PhD in Canada right now. So she was also helping me, but she didn't want me to just sleep and she would do everything. So we were fighting. In the end, even common references that I had to add, I wanted her to do for me, and she said she would never do it for me. So I had to learn how to use Google Scholar for the references. I had to learn it myself. And now I'm hoping to come and do my master's. I will definitely have to do project work. So I decided that I'll work on my research topic before I even come, so that it will not mafia me for the second time. Yes, and then we also have here teacher or lecturer. I would advise that if you want to teach or lecture, I advise that you have your national service with the department as a TA. It's a very good opportunity. I had my service with the department as a TA, and I learned a lot, and I built on it as a teacher after school. So get close to the department and ask how you can have your service with them. Then we have, so finally that's point 26. We have writer. Writer, you can write on any topic of your interest. Yeah, so you can be a writer, like you are Nelson right now. Or even a musician like Star here. You know where I'm going to. Yes, so it depends on what you really want to do. Maybe among your friends, you are the go-to person. When any of your friends have a challenge, you are the one that they come to for advice. And you are able to give advice. You are the unofficial counselor among your friends. But have you considered undertaking counseling as your profession? You may want to consider it. Because it is more blessing to do what you love as a profession. You don't even think about the salary. But it will be coming at the end of the month, you don't even check because you love what you are doing. And you'll be able to explore. Right now, people's passion is to even interpret people's music. Somebody has composed his music. And now you say you are the one to interpret and explain the words in the music. And people are making money out of that. Because you show them. Heaviest YouTuber, Margaret, that's what they do. And YouTube is paying them. What's your passion? What's your passion? Can you develop your passion into your profession? It is far easier to do it. Like I was saying, I was a Bible teacher. I was teaching Bible here and there, but I never thought of teaching it as my profession. And now I'm enjoying it. Those who don't perform in CRS, the way I'm dashing them. Yes, because even though GS says you shouldn't dash them. So they are taking advantage of it. They don't want to learn. Let me do a bit of concern. Because discipline has been taken out of our schools, the students are not steady. Honestly, they are not steady. Because even when you fail, you'll be promoted. Yeah. Because free decisions, government is taking care of them already. So if they are deleted, it's like double work for government to promote them. So because of that, students they don't want to study because they know that some refuse to write end of semester exams, and yet they go to the next class. So they are not studying. And fortunately for me, I am teaching Bible. I use the Bible to convince them on the need to cane children. Yes, all were from Proverbs. I have a few favorites. Some say that if you spare the rod, it means that you hate your son. If you love him, you will discipline him very well. Discipline him. He said, beat him with the rod. If you beat him with the rod, he will not die. So you shall beat him with the rod and deliver his soul from hell. When I'm mentioning such scripture, then they will shout, hey! And I said, I'm not the one saying it. The Bible is saying it. Oh, they were underperforming. Some of them, they can learn very well, but because there is no discipline, they decide not to learn. So the first time I was distributing papers for them, they were getting 40s, 50s, 60s. But I know I taught the thing very well. I gave it to them, oh, 2 lashes. And from there, they moved from 40s and 50s to 80s and 90s. I just marked their scripts, their mock. I teach Form 3. Because I've been lashing them since Form 2. In the mock, some got as high as 99%. Because I'm lashing them. What did I use? Religion. You believe in the Bible. Therefore, I'm using the Bible to convince you. I know they will not understand, but later on in life, they will appreciate the discipline that I'm giving to them. So please, I have mentioned about 26 job opportunities associated with religion. Feel free to research. You read more about them. Like I said, some of them you have to add a professional course, a 1-year course, 2 years course, and you'll be able to function. Some of them you only need your certificate to do it. Like my colleague who spoke the first time, this is certificate, and up to now they have not even asked him to present the certificate. All they know is to verify the fact that indeed you have it, because you have references in your CV. So they will contact the institution. So all you know, they have the soft copy already. They don't need a physical. Right now we are applying for jobs online. You don't need a physical certificate. Just develop yourself. You have free online courses. Whatever field you want to venture in, whatever passion you have, and the job associated with it, just do it. So, in conclusion, said, and any other job relating to humanities. After all, the most important thing is that you are educated. And religions will always help you to relate very well with people at the workplace. And people will like you like that. I am here because I relate very well with my community teachers. So it was easy for me to get somebody to step in for me to come. Because all of us are busy. You can ask Belinda. All of us, religions department, those of us working, we are all busy. Because the job opportunities are available. People, they can't get people to occupy them because not many people are offering religions. I told you, even get at school, we lack one CRS teacher and a school chaplain and counselor. I'm on the National CRS Teachers platform, and almost every week they post vacancies in schools. They need teachers to teach the various aspects. It can be CRS, it can be IRS, it can be TRS. They don't have. So if you really want to pursue it, pray about it. If you want to go into full-time ministry, consult your pastor so that you know how to go about it. Don't just venture into it without proper planning, otherwise you will regret. There's a reason why Jesus had to work as a carpenter until age 30 before he started his public ministry. Yes. And I was talking about exploring at the workplace. Yes. I started as a teacher. And I realized that I was telling my students to buy past questions. But I even recommended past questions for them to buy, but they were not buying it. And I realized that they like convenience, because even those of us say we like convenience. Sometimes we even order food. You order the pizza and then it will come to you. So I thought to myself that why don't I type my own past questions and print it for them? And I did it. I came to print 20 copies here for the start, University of Ghana, the one close to the BAM library. I made 20 copies for the start, and they were buying. I said, wow, it a move. It a move. It is well. So, and then I paid more copies, and I'm making more money. Right now, I realize that maybe for some of my students, reading is a problem for them. So I have started a YouTube channel, and I have started uploading teaching videos, so that if reading is a problem for you, watch the teaching video. That one is a problem. So that if you don't do well, I can see that, oh, it is you, the problem is you, then I can lash you very well. Yes, so for instance, one of the topics in CRS is this demands of discipleship. So those of you who want to go into ministry, pastoral ministry as a missionary or whatever it is, you can watch that video on demands for discipleship. I have explained it very well so that you don't just jump into it and then you regret. Yes, so basically that's it. I would like to take questions if you have any. Thank you very much.